One of my biggest LSAT prep breakthroughs that led me to get a top score was recognizing that I didn't need another 500-page LSAT prep phone book. A lot of the prep companies out there tend to overcomplicate the LSAT with all the different question types and categorizations and subcategorizations, but I personally found the secret to getting a top LSAT score was in fact doing less. Because if you just focus on understanding the argument, if you focus on understanding the passage, the questions become a whole lot easier. Today, I'll walk you through the implications of my key insight and how you can apply them to your LSAT prep on your journey to getting a 170 plus LSAT score. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, my big insight was, in fact, to stop thinking about all the LSAT question types and instead focus on actually understanding the method of reasoning in the argument or the main idea in LSAT reading comprehension. Because if you actually take the time to understand what you're reading, surprise, surprise, the questions become a whole lot easier. What I find is that a lot of students are inclined to do is they read the argument, they read the passage, they don't fully understand what it says, so they move on to looking at the question stem, hoping that will somehow clear things up, when in fact that only further complicates things, because the question stem only makes sense in the context of the argument or the passage. In other words, the question stem is giving you the proper perspective from which to view the answer choices. But if you don't know what the passage was saying, you're not going to be able to evaluate the answer choices properly given the question. So first and foremost, understand the argument, understand the passage. This is what we do at LSAT Unplugged with the Socratic review method in our small group coaching programs, in our classes, our courses, our one-on-one coaching programs. If you're interested in finding out more, you can check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. What we do is we help you systematically, line by line, word by word, break down the argument, break down the passage to the point that you can explain it in your own words to a 5-year-old if you had to. In fact, I think that'd be a pretty fun way to administer the LSAT is have students explain things to actual 5-year-olds in a classroom and see, can the 5-year-old get it? If not, you're not explaining it simply enough. But anyway, we want to help you break down the question, bare bones, dissect it, the argument, the passage, then the question stem, then the answer choices. In particular, what makes the wrong answer choice tempting and what ultimately makes it wrong. What makes the right answer choice unappealing and what ultimately makes it correct. Because the thing is, there are patterns in the mistakes you're making. And until you understand the mistakes you're making and why, you may, of course, end up making those same mistakes again. And that's what we want to help you avoid, because it's not enough to explain that question in front of you the way a book would or the way a video would. We want the explanation to be personalized for you, because we want you to extract the key insight that you'll be able to apply to a similar question in the future. You're not just looking to understand that question on the previously administered LSAT practice test. We want you to be able to tackle new questions on test day that you have not yet seen before, that may have a different surface level topic, but will still have the same underlying method of reasoning. And we pay a special importance to logical reasoning because logical reasoning is now 2/3 of the test. For those who aren't aware, LSAC removed the logic game section after the June LSAT and replaced it with a second scored logical reasoning section. So the importance of logical reasoning is doubled. You want to devote roughly 2/3 of your LSAT prep time to logical reasoning given this, and any gains you make in your understanding of logical reasoning will be doubled across the two sections. Now, of course, there are roughly 15 different types of logical reasoning questions. We cover all 15 or so of them, but some are more common than others. And so, especially for those of you scoring below 160, you want to focus on the most common types to begin with, like necessary assumption, inference, and flaw. If you're scoring 160 plus, you want to focus on the next level methods of reasoning that are showing up more and more often. Now that LSAC has removed the logic game section, they're incorporating more of these into the logical reasoning section, like questions involving numbers and percentages, absolute versus relative values, and formal logic stimuli. If you'd like my help with those, again, you can check out the links below. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, I've talked a lot about logical reasoning in this video, but what I said here applies to reading comprehension as well. Understand the passage, get the main point, the primary purpose, the author's opinion, knock out those general global questions. And if you can't, you're in trouble. Make sure you got the big picture, the details, the supporting examples. You can always go back and find those when you need to help you solve a particular question, but don't get bogged down in the moment and lose the forest for the trees. Again, we can help you, of course, with reading comprehension as well. Check out the links below. We'd be glad to help you out. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.